yeah, actually, before we go, I wanted to get your thoughts on this too. Pack and Proton says Hackman gets weirder, mummified wife per New York Post. Yeah, we dove into this pretty deep last night. Until we find out more information, there's not much to go on. But sad news for Hollywood legend Gene Hackman.
Wow, this is weird.
It is a very strange story. So I don't know if you've been following it all, Brandon, or what your thoughts on it are. But
I mean, my first thought was like, like the wife, him, and the dog. It had to have been a gas leak, and then someone said it was a methane gas. I haven't heard about the mummified thing.
Well, that tells me, okay, the wife was mummified. For how long is my question there? How long?
It's strange because she was found next to a heater. See, here's the thing: there's a chance it could be gas, although the firefighters say it wasn't, because I don't know how long the half-life is on that and how long it'll stay in the body, and there were some disagreements about that last night. And it's going to take weeks before we get any kind of autopsy report. But nobody had spoke to them for 2 weeks. Now, we don't know how long they were dead for, but there was three dogs. There was 3 dogs. One was outside, one was inside the house, and one was in a kennel. Now, the one that was in the kennel had passed away too, sadly. So it was long enough that, yeah, that occurred.
So the only one that lived was the one outside?
No, the other 2 lived. The one that was inside lived too. I'm not going to expand on it any more than that, but yeah.
Okay.
She was in a washroom surrounded by spilled pills.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so, okay. I saw another theory that said she saw that Gene Hackman had died and that she tried to kill herself after. And then maybe the dog, or like, well, no, because the dog was in the kennel. It couldn't have gotten to the pills.
The dog probably just starved or dehydrated as a result of not having any access to food.
Probably, yeah.
Because the other dogs were roaming the property, as far as I recall, so there wasn't.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that dog dying probably wasn't an intentional act, at least conceivably. But yeah, the chain of events, like who died first and how.
And the suicide thing makes me wonder because of the dog in the kennel. You think we just let all the dogs
let them out? Yeah.
So
true too.
Again, but if she's not thinking at that moment in time, and we don't know, we won't know for a while. And this is the thing that bothered me about it was when it first came out, the report first came out, they said no foul play. That's it. Just both him and his wife were dead, and everybody's like, huh, that's odd. Then we started getting more and more news about it, and I even reached out to my buddy who works in the system in New Mexico, and he's even on the outside of this. So a lot of what's coming out is probably coming directly from sources within that direct department. And then the 911 call dropped from the groundskeeper, because it was a groundskeeper who actually found them, and he saw them through a window because he didn't have access to the house. He just had access to the grounds. So then from there, they called in the cops. The cops came in, and the reports come out. Well, then they said they're investigating it as suspicious. So it's like, okay, so you went from one jump to another jump, but again, it's probably because the news was coming out faster than they can control it. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of it, but it's just really sad because I mean, Gene Hackman's a legend, and we'd much rather be celebrating his career right now than talking about the tragedy.
I bet the internet didn't help either. I mean, like Michelle Trachtenberg died around the same exact, or the news that she died came out around the exact same time, which probably is fueling a lot of people's, Well,
that was similar because that one said natural causes, and then when you dig deeper, you find out no, she just had a kidney transplant.
It was a died suddenly moment, wasn't it?
Kind of a natural cause.
Yeah.
I guess.
Wonder what caused that.
After that. Yeah. Well. Yeah. And then, of course, we also lost Robert Orsi earlier this week, too, of kidney disease.
Well, celebrities dies in 3. Isn't that the saying?
Yes. That is the saying.
3 this week.
And then 6 just sent me something where it's a newer update where it says the sheriff said that the prescription bottle found near his wife is very important evidence.
Oh, okay. It's interesting, though, because... Tom, you mentioned that, of course, we would much rather be discussing the legacy than his passing. But I do believe that, and I'm not saying this is a good thing, but I do believe that just like with David Carradine, the manner of the passing is going to be part of the legacy.
Hopefully not when it's all said and done. I mean, hopefully it's... Yeah, go ahead.
Not as drastically as David Carradine's death, I hope.
Right.
So that's a bit different, but yeah.
But I think that is going to be the case. I mean, everyone still jokes about how Elvis died.
Yeah, but my point is like, Elvis died on a fucking toilet. David Carradine died jerking off with a fucking strap around his neck. He died. Gene Hackman passed away in his doorway. And the sad part about it is what transpired with his wife. Was it that she killed herself and he died of seeing her dead on the floor and had a heart attack? Or is it the other way around? Is it some sort of gas situation? Was she just going to take some pills and get ready for a bath and just fell over because of the gas? Who knows? Like, why did the other dog live? So then that would explain why there probably wasn't a gas leak, right? So again, there's so many factors going into this, and we only know certain facts, and until we know more, we can't really put together, a scenario here that makes sense, and until we find out the toxicology reports and whatever else they come out with. But
Trachtenberg was a liver transplant, and it was a rejection. Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah. So that's what I mean is, technically, I guess you could say it was natural, as Scribe was semi-joking, but like,
Well, no. I mean, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't foul play. It wasn't a drug overdose.
Yeah,
it sounds like a medical complication that led to her death, and so that's natural causes in the sense of it wasn't some kind of outside force that did it to her.
Okay, now 6 is just pointing out to me that they did have a doggy door. So the other dog being outside didn't mean that they necessarily let it outside. That means that the two dogs had free roam of the property. Yeah. So the one being inside didn't mean anything really, I guess, at the end of the day either.
And I guess the pill bottle wouldn't have been opened either, because you would think that like maybe the dogs would have taken some of those pills and gotten really sick. Well, we don't know what the pills are, though.
Exactly. It all depends on what the pills are, what they're coated with.
Could have been Flintstone vitamins for all we know.
Yeah, and if the dog, and dogs could try them and they could just spit them out.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it probably wouldn't have smelled like anything to the dogs per se.
Yeah.
So maybe they wouldn't have been interested. So yeah, I mean, a lot of mysteries, but yeah, no, I'm with you. At this moment in time, it might have just been a series of unfortunate events. You know, it could be something a little more sinister. It could be something just accidental. Who knows, man?
Yeah, Paul, you're talking, but you're muted.
The fact that the pills were Calcan flavored, that was
oh geez,
that was suspicious.
They were 222s. That's what they were.
Yeah, but 97 years old. I mean, obviously he lived a nice long life, but just the exit, sadly, not so nice.
Well, it gives Hollywood something to talk about.
When I argued last night, he was probably the greatest character actor of all time, because he's never quite been an A-list actor to where he could open a movie as big as, like any big name actor. He's had movies where he was the star, but his most memorable performances are the ones where he's always like the villain or the heavy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call that a character actor.
He is in a way, though. He's kind of vicariously become.
John Lithgow is a character actor.
Yeah, but John Lithgow starred in just about as many movies too,
No, but he could never open a movie.
He's a lot like James Woods in that respect. Like, that's my point. Is they could never open a movie per se, but they can star in one. And outside of the French Connection and maybe the Conversation, he's never really had movies where he was the lead and people went to see it because he was the lead.
But I went to see Superman partly, or in large part, because I wanted to see him as Lex Luthor.
I'll give you that they signed him on as a name for that, but it was really Brando was the big draw there. And
I didn't give a shit about Brando.
Well, that's because you're an uncultured swine.
That's right. And he was old.
Anyway,
he was old by my standards back then.
Yeah, but I know Brandon has to leave us here soon, so go ahead and plug your stuff. And want to thank you for popping in here today. And
thanks for having me. I'm sorry I have to take off so soon. I've actually got other podcasts lined up I have to be on, believe it or not. But write at redstate.com and go check that out. I have my YouTube video that just got released on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. Give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe if you can, because this one's probably going to get the last one got the attention of the Hassan Piker fan base, and they're absolutely rabid. And they tried to downvote my video into oblivion and left a whole bunch of bad comments. So I'm sure that they're going to return for this one because I addressed them directly at this point. So yeah, go to my YouTube channel and check that out. And that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Take care.
Nice to meet you, Brandon.
Nice to meet you too.
Thanks for being here. And yeah, I see a bunch of people bringing up Hoosiers, and yeah, the thing is that movie wasn't a success mainly because of him, and people watch it because it's based on a true story and all that kind of business more so. And I'm not saying he's not a movie star. Don't get me wrong. I love Gene Hackman. He's one of my favorites of all time. I'm just saying, like, he's probably one of the best character actors. Is my point. Usually plays the heavy or the villain or the, secondary characters, not so much the star all the time. And even in the films where he is the star, his character isn't the main draw. Is my point. Outside of maybe the French Connection.
Yeah, no, like he's not necessarily the one carrying the movie, but he greatly elevates every movie that he's in, because he's going to be one of the top characters.
Well, and he was my Lex Luthor. He was Lex Luthor for many years. He was one of the first actors I knew by name because, I would see him in something else and I'd be like, why is Lex Luthor in this? And my dad's like, well, that's an actor. It's Gene Hackman, So I was trying to get my head around that kind of stuff as a little kid, So, yeah, it's just sad. And I mean, he's been in so many great films. He's got a huge filmography. So, I mean, you got plenty to choose from his more modern stuff to his classics, through his 80s and 90s films. It's got tons of great stuff. I mean, I just watched a few of his films not too long ago, like No Way Out with Kevin Costner, and the one Absolute Power with Clint Eastwood, where he's the president.
Mm-hmm.
It's too bad. But let's see what else you guys are talking about. We got Ruby Hoover.
This clip was taken from Midnight's Edge in the Morning, which streams live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on the Midnight's Edge main channel. There you can send in your live questions and comments before clips and full stream replays are uploaded to Midnight's Edge live archives. We are also on Twitter, Rumble, Odyssey and Facebook, so smash that like, help share, subscribe and join us.